welcome back.
So, the day of the second video shoot, the big video shoot as we used to call it, has come. And I remember how I kept getting more and more nervous the more we approached to that day. Because I tried to think about everything, all the little details, and I tried to make plans, and then I tried to make backup plans, and then I tried to make backup of backup plans, just to be prepared for anything that can go wrong. And I knew it right away that something will go wrong for sure, and I was right, of course, because it never works as planned. So how did it start? So before, about 2 days, I think, 2 days before the video shoot, I drove to that decoration warehouse to pick up all the decorations. And I remember I filled the trunk of our SUV, and then the night before the video shoot, I got some food. I went to buy food for all the crew because, well, it was a long day. We tried to prepare for that long video shoot day. So I remember I purchased all kind of fruit, banana and apples, and a huge box of drinks like water and
personal drinks.
Yes, personal like little bottles, water and juices and cheese sticks
and energy drinks
and granola bars and so on. So it was.
Yeah.
I made the list, the whole list for like to feed the whole crew. And we put it in, it was a cold day, so we didn't need any fridge, and we literally filled our SUV, leaving only the space for, like, behind our seats. It was all full.
Yeah, I remember, and I was also, surprisingly, I was worried.
No
because
way.
I would worry that I would not get enough sleep and I would look tired. And I didn't get enough sleep, who could, before the video shoot. I worried that my voice would not be well enough during the whole day of singing and singing.
Well, at least you didn't have to sing in your full voice because it wasn't an audio recording. We only had to record the video.
That's right, it was only a backup singing, but still it had to be my mostly natural looking, and I had to sing my full lungs, yes. So I was worried about that. And then I was worried about my dizziness because I got to wear heels all day long, different heels. And it was a fog machine, and it got me more dizzy because I couldn't see well. And I also, it was kind of wet and slippery kind of feeling all the time. So I was a lot dizzy.
Well, probably I was too overwhelmed and focused on filming because I really didn't feel it. Yeah.
Well, you should wear my heels.
Next time.
Yeah.
The amount of things to think about, it was really overwhelming. So I mentioned the food, but it was also making a call sheet, just collecting all the contact information and printing some driving instructions. I printed the map with all the Google Street View, and one of the problems was that the theater was actually at the middle of a university campus. So you couldn't just feed some address in your GPS and just drive. Mm-hmm. So I tried to draw that map, and I also put some. I thought about making some street signs to put along the way inside the campus, so people would see where to go, like these signs. So these signs, you see, the video shooting is there, like forward. Or had even bigger signs like this one. Ooh, over there. And so we put those signs everywhere, and it was also a bit raining, so I had to just jump out of the car and to put those signs under the rain.
It was a heavy rain, in fact, when we got back from the video shoot.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of the day, I was really hoping for everybody to be well, not sick, and for all the dancers to arrive on time and not sick, hopefully.
Well, it was fall season after all. It was, yes, end of October, and I actually got sick. I don't remember about you, yeah, but
I remember.
yeah, I
You
got
took the pills in the morning.
I got fever, I got sore throat, and I was worried myself. I didn't have to sing, but I had to talk a lot.
You even had to shout
even
a
more,
few times.
yes, even more than I usually talk. Yes, I'm a talkative person, but on that day, to run in circles in between all the people and to give instructions and it was it was difficult. I mean, with sore throat, but
You managed, you produced and you directed, and it was...
So, how did that day start? We woke up around 7:30 or so, and we had our first coffee. Then we headed out to the theater and arrived like 15 to 9. The same time with Ben, the cinematographer and his crew, started unloading things, and then dancers, the girls started to arrive with their parents, and some parents stayed for the entire day to assist us. It was really great help, and I remember that one of them asked if I need to park the car, so he asked if he can do it. So I said, yeah, well, thank you. Here are the keys, because I need to have a couple of words with Ben. And the other parents, they had to leave, and they asked us, so when is a good time to pick up the girls? And I was laughing because I didn't really know. The original plan was to finish everything by 9 p.m. But yeah, that was the original plan. And yeah, the plan. So the plan was to arrive at 9 a.m. and set up the light, prepare the camera, and at the same time you would have your makeup, and girls will have their makeup. And I hope that it wouldn't take more than 2 hours. So I plan to start filming the first scenes in a dark hall on an empty stage at 11, around 11. And we had to film about 1.5 minutes of the script on that, in that setting. And I hope that 2 hours is enough to film 1.5 minutes of the script. On an empty stage. So I thought that at 1 p.m. we'll have our first break, lunch break, and then we'll start setting up the decoration. And you will get your theatrical makeup, the girls will get their theatrical makeup. Of course, it would take more time, so 3 hours, 3.5. So I thought at 5 we'll start filming the ice castle scenes. And again, we had about 1.5 minutes of the script, so another 2 hours till 7. And in 7 we would modify the decorations a bit. I had the plan to use a different setting, like a different room in that ice castle. I called it the Tango Ballroom. And then we would film 30 seconds of the scenes with the sax player. Would take another hour maybe, and I hope that by 9 p.m. we would be done. That was my original plan.
I was deeply impressed by the way you planned everything, all the little details, and you had to worry about so much. And I kept asking you, please stop worrying. We're here to have fun after all. But no, you just had to plan and replan, schedule and reschedule and rework all the little details.
Well, to some extent I can say that I was having fun making the plans. It was my part, my way of having fun, no matter how stressful it was. And speaking of the plans, what do they say? You want to make God laugh, tell her about your plans. And God had really good laughs. Yes, good laughs on that day, because nothing worked according to the plan. Nothing. Because for starters, we started filming the dark hall scenes, the scenes on the empty stage, after 1 p.m. Actually, when I planned to be done with it. And we just started. Not even 1, closer to 2 p.m. I would say. And why is that? Mainly because of the light. Setting the light took quite some time. Unlike our little studio, where it's easier to control the light, on that stage it was problematic. On one hand, it was empty. So no decorations, less shadows that you want to get rid of. But on another hand, it was empty. It was bare. So you couldn't hide anything, any flaw, and you saw it.
We occasionally got some feet stuck in the frame, or...
Well, that's different story, yeah. But I mean, to set up all the light, and since it was bigger stage, so you put it all on, you used all those ladders to put the light, and so it took more time. And I was running in between band's crew to ask how are things, and then I also talked to our sound operator, our friend Arty, who agreed to do it for us. And that, by the way, I didn't really plan, my fault, because we really had to have someone to push the button. So yeah, I had to shout, be like with my producer's hat, like 2 minutes 30 seconds, play, action.
He did
Camera
it all day
rolling.
long.
So he did it all day long, and yes, he did absolutely great job. So I was discussing it with him, and I also ran backstage to check on you and the girls how was makeup going, and I also had someone on the phone who, despite all my science and all my maps, got lost and just went in circles around the campus, calling me, and like for 40 minutes not being able to find how to get there. So I was running like in a hamster wheel, almost literally.
As my Royal Highness, got to do her makeup with...
while I was running as a hamster,
I know, this is life, right? Evgenia, the makeup artist, had to make me look neutral, but still not shiny, not oily, not too much, yet my lips had to be visible in a special light in a dark room, so it was a lot of work actually, but it was
the light was really
sharp and
challenge. Yes, it was sharp and contrasting, so and your skin didn't have to shine.
Yeah, not to be oily or shiny, and at the same time I was really worried that something would go smudgy, because I had to dance with the shawl, make some moves, and it could be a disaster, but it was fine after all.
So here we are on the stage. How are you feeling, Milana? Your first shoot of the day.
This is the first time of video shoot for me, for real. It feels like I'm completely unprepared, but very excited, and I hope that good things will pop out of me. If it's gonna be improvised, then it should be not too dark, but the way things are planned, it's gonna be pretty rich in little details, like sparkles here, fog there, so...
How are you feeling about your time limit?
About my what, sorry?
Your time limit, how do you think?
Time limits.
Are you good for time so far, do you think?
I guess magic should be happening tonight, because if anything goes right, we will be very tight on schedule. I can't think about that right now. Just need to make my magic happen.
Well, you should relax and have a wonderful time.
Thank you.
So with all that, we didn't really start filming before 1 or even 1:30. And that made me nervous, because I already saw that we are falling behind, and I had to switch from primary plans to backup plans and start shuffling things around. And I also saw that there is quite a difference between what I planned, what I imagined, to what happened there for real. All those problems, like the way I imagined those camera angles, it just didn't work. And we didn't have any rehearsal on that stage. We rehearsed in different studios, we rehearsed at home, but not there. And when we got there, it just didn't work. And this is when I started feeling not just nervous. I was really frustrated. It was that frustration that it just doesn't work.
I remember I was very dizzy and very hungry and especially worried since I almost started crying during the show scene. I had to redo a few things over and over again. You saw the things were wrong on the monitor right away and you gave me instructions how to move in the right way, but it wasn't exactly clear how to do that after all.
Yeah, well, I was following the camera and was looking at the monitor, and I saw that there was something that you couldn't really see. I don't remember exactly what went wrong. As I said, I was really frustrated because it all was not as I saw it. It all was, I was grinding my teeth really. Hungary, I don't know. So even when we finished filming that dark hole parts, those dark hole scenes at around 3 p.m. and the whole crew, or at least part of it, left for the lunch, we didn't have such a luxury. You had to go right away for
to buy the second theatrical makeup?
To get the second makeup with Dema.
Right.
I had to coordinate the decorations just to make it as soon as possible. So if I remember well, all I had was one banana, one tuna sandwich, one granola bar, and a thermos of coffee, and that was it. Well, and water and some apple juice, yes, but eating granola bar, banana, and tuna sandwich. That's it. And with that sore throat, and yeah, it was. And I didn't feel any hunger actually. Maybe due to all the adrenaline,
yes.
Or maybe I just didn't have time for that. I didn't have time for hunger.
Well, I was starving because in the morning I couldn't eat well because I was in a rush and I knew that I had to sing the whole day. So I ate just very, very little and drank a lot of coffee. So before we started shooting the first set, I was already hungry. And when we were done, I couldn't eat well because I had to do the second makeup with Dema, theatrical makeup. It was more hours and I still didn't eat well. So I ate same as you, even less. I had to tuna sandwich and banana.
We got the
no granola bar for me.
We got the of course for singing. Yes,
yeah.
We had the little plastic box with two tuna sandwiches, and one and we shared one I took and another one.
Yep.
So instead of the lunch break, you went to do the theatrical makeup, and I went to set up the decorations with 4 or 5 assistants, or actually I don't know who assisted whom, because they actually did all the job and I was just coordinating all the production and witnessing the magic. It was really magical when I saw, I drew that sketch at first. On paper at first, and then I made that 3D model, and I have a good imagination, yeah. But when I saw those curtains with those white and blue lights, and it was so much beyond what I could imagine. It was so much above that. I couldn't believe my eyes, and I think I wasn't the only one who couldn't believe my eyes. I saw girls, the dancers, they were also busy having their makeup, but one at a time. So they came on stage one by one, and I saw that wow in their eyes, because I didn't really ask them, but I felt like, maybe it was my frustration, I don't know, but I felt like they, during the dark whole part, they were a bit bored. I don't know, because they didn't have to do anything. They had to play the role of frozen statue, so like stand and don't move the entire time, almost the entire time.
They were not engaged much.
Yeah, so they were, except for some scenes where they played the broken toys, the broken musical box, but in general they weren't engaged much. When they came from the backstage, opened the door, and entered the theater, the new setup. They saw I could see those sparkles in their eyes, and I saw how they rushed back behind the stage to call their friends and call them like, come over, like see this, like see what they made, because they literally it was they walked out of the theater from the bare, empty stage. And then they got back, and it was all that illuminated. It was all. It was like a fairy tale. Especially that moment. It was the moment of transformation for them from bare, empty stage to that ice castle.
Right.
And I think that look in their eyes, it was part of the reward. Part of the reward for daring to do such a project.
I remember Diana Sharp, my vocal teacher, coming into the makeup room and half jokingly saying that I would not recognize the stage right now. It is something else. And then she half jokingly said that you would not recognize me now with the new makeup on. So everything was so intriguing, right? I had the gem sparkling on my face, and we slowly walked upstairs to finally face the new castle and the crew.
The royal court, yeah, the crew.
Right, so it was like in those movies, exactly like that, when I slowly opened the door and I was like, oh, and my jaw completely dropped. That was beyond anything I imagined. I don't have the words to describe it. You guys just did the magic.
So setting up the decorations, that magic, it took less time than I imagined. By 5:30 we were done with it, and your makeup was ready by that time. It was a queenish makeup.
Yes, Demon did such a good job on me.
Yeah, but there were also 5 girls, and they had to get the same. Well, not the same, but similar makeup as you, lighter version of the same makeup, because they played the role of your cards, so they had to look alike. And there were 5 of them. So I started rushing. Dema, I was running between. Yes, I was running between the stage and the backstage, and I tried to rush her, and. She got nervous. She wanted to do a good job, and I said, "Yeah, I totally understand, but we are so behind the schedule that it's not the question of having that makeup all perfect for all the girls. After all, you were the main focus, so we had that luxury of putting a couple of girls with not finished makeup somewhere on the background, just because we were behind the schedule, and I was worried that we won't be able to finish filming all these scenes. I already gave up on that second stage design for the Tango Ballroom. I actually prepared that 3D model with a different stage design, and I gave it up because just because we didn't have time. And I thought, okay, we'll tweak the current design a little bit, just move a couple of curtains here and there just to make it a bit different, but we didn't have time for that fancy second ballroom. And I also gave up on several helper recordings, like I really planned angles for particular camera angles for particular phrases or even particular words, but I also planned some backup recordings, like let's just point the camera this way and film the entire verse, just in case, so later on we'll have some material, some footage to fill in the gaps.
It's nice to have a variety anyway.
Yes, yeah. And I just gave up on many of those too, because we just didn't have the time.
Right. I remember I also switched the shoes from the black ones with the pearls to those deep purple ones, and oh my god, I discovered that they were tight on me, but they looked so gorgeous, so I had to stay in them. And you told me, okay, take your time, sit down, relax. They were hurting me, seriously.
Didn't we check them in the store?
We checked them in the store, and yes, the problem was that in store, when you just stand up, it's nothing. But when you walk around the stage all the time and your feet are swollen anyway, it became tight. So that was...
but they looked so beautiful that we actually planned to make some close-up of the shoes.
Scenes, right.
And the irony was that we really...
We didn't, and all my suffering was for nothing.
And I didn't even know, because I left the stage at that time. I don't remember what I had to do. I had to talk to someone, and they came back and they saw that you actually filmed those close-up, because you didn't need any girls, you didn't need any music. It was just a close-up of shoes, and they saw that you actually did those things.
Apparently we didn't.
And that was not the only thing that we forgot.
No, not the only thing we forgot, of course. After that, we realized that we never took a close-up shots on the amazing decorations that we had.
It was your idea.
It was my idea. While sitting in the car driving away from the set, I thought, oh my god, the decorations were so nice. Did we shoot them at all? Because it seems obvious, and you said, oh no.
Well, it was so obvious that we didn't really think about it, and I told you that any idea you got, like, next time, just share. Share, because who knows, like, we were so busy, we just didn't think. And when you said that in the car, I was like, oh no, it was such a cool idea. Why didn't we think about it? And we cannot really set decorations against to film them. Anyways, while you were sitting and trying to relax, I wasn't relaxed at all, because we were behind the schedule for more than 2 hours. And I tried to change all those plans, and we started to film at 6:30 the ice castle scenes. And this is actually where my frustration, despite of all the changes, my frustration was gone at that moment, because with all that illumination, with all those costumes, with clouds of fog, it was really like I was there on stage of a Broadway musical. I was just in the middle of it. So it was great, but then we had to put that filming on pause, because Jared, the sax player, he arrived, and he could only stay for about 1 hour. So we stopped filming the ice castle scenes and made a small little modification to the curtains. We just untaped a couple of curtains from the floor and rearranged them. We put two curtains like this to have some gap, like this one, like one behind another, and there is a gap, and the way you see my face in between, this is the way I saw them. I imagined myself. I made the whole design of the tango ballroom around those two curtains with a gap, where through that gap you could see either your hands, like you play that tango, or his hands, like he's playing the sax. And it was all a tango, it's a ragged rhythm, and it was all jumping from one scene to another. And I really saw this, like those two curtains and the camera kind of approaching, trying to sneak in between those two curtains. And then we filmed the silhouette scenes. It was a bit easier, but yes, since we didn't have that second design, I just stood up and just held that curtain manually, the curtain that hid Jared behind, to have the silhouette. After he left, we returned back to filming the ice castle scenes. We untaped again those two curtains, put them back, and that was it. And it actually worked.
Yeah, it was a lot of magic.
And magic it was, because we actually finished by 9 p.m. as we planned, exactly like we planned. of course, we had to cut corners, and we didn't film this, and we didn't film that, and we forgot some things, your shoes, and I mean to film. We didn't forget them.
Yeah.
But, and at 9 p.m. we let everyone go, and we just had to take off the decorations. And
it was a heavy rain outside, so
yeah, so it was
taking
really,
out the signs that you left, that was
yeah.
not easy.
I jumped out of the car and under the train, and just picked back all those signs, and we drove home. It was not an easy drive under the train, but it was such a terrific feel of accomplishment. Like we did it. And you were great with all that makeup, and you still had that makeup actually when we drove home.
Yes, of course. The children were very impressed seeing me. Like, oh my God, Mom, can you take a picture of you? Is it really you?
Oh, and I remember like all those girls, they were taking pictures. It
Of
was
the stage and selfies all the time.
It was the first video shoot for them. Actually, not just for us, but for them as well.
Yeah, that was exciting for everybody.
Yeah, and there were some also some bloopers, and I remember I always worried about that fog, because we were told that if that fog goes out of the theater hall,
it sets on the fire alarm.
Yeah, it would set off the smoke detectors, because the smoke detectors were just right after the door. And we were warned that if those alarms go off, then it just break for 1 hour at least, until that fire department comes in and checks that everything is okay. And I was really worried. And I remember like people, all the assistants and everyone who was involved, they came in at different times. So I remember we were in the middle of the video shoot, and someone opens the door, and with all that smoke, and someone opens the door and asked, is it here? And I was shouting, come in and close the door! And I think I scared her. She didn't know what to do. I said, just shut the door! Just shut the door! Just come in! And then I explained to her that like I was worried that that fume of that smoke will go out. And she was all scared. And yeah, what else was like in the break? You and Andre, you started singing your song, and they came by, and it was all nice while everyone was running around, and you sang that song.
It was only 5 minutes.
It was only 5 minutes, but they came by, and I stopped you, interrupted you, and said, like, guys, I understand everything, that you're having fun, but we are behind the schedule, and we cannot just sing songs, not just because it wouldn't change much, one minute here, 1 minute there, but it just showed other people that we are not serious, that we are not focused on what we are actually filming. At least, maybe this is what I thought. I don't remember exactly, but...
Maybe.
And we actually filmed it. I think Ben actually caught it on on camera. Yeah,
yes,
like
behind the scenes, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, we can probably check. Yeah, do we have it? Don't we have it?
I hope we do, because this is what makes other memories.
Behind the scenes, all the behind the scenes footage. Yes, and big thanks to Michelle Haritescu,
to my favorite student.
Yes, she actually. I actually left her without much of the food because she was vegetarian, and I didn't think about it. And I thought, well, okay.
No, I'm sorry about that, but she'll forgive us. But she spent the entire day taking everything, from guiding people from corner to corner to shooting and helping me.
I don't like this word, shooting. I mean shooting, filming. And so
she was great, and Andre was great, and Diana Sharp was great.
Oh, everyone was great, and
really
the family of Kazhevnikov, their daughter Irina, she was one of the dancers. She was absolutely great. The way she played those broken toys, and it was really a fresh idea. We didn't really rehearse it. It just came like this. I think during the last rehearsal out of 5, that idea appeared, and we said like, okay, let's try that, and then so their daughter, she was one of the dancers, and they were there to assist with setting up the decorations and taking some
hard work.
Behind the scene photos as well.
Yeah.
And Diana, not only she was your voice teacher, but she also helped with setting up the decorations.
Yes.
And one of the dancers, she did the makeup for all the girls as well.
Right,
Liana, right, and that was absolutely great, and I like everyone, and the guys from the theater as well.
Yeah.
They helped a lot with everything. They literally stayed the whole day. So this is our crowd. Hello, and. This guy, we already mentioned that.
First he was the sound operator.
Yes.
And then he was the video operator a few times.
Come here in the frame, yes. And he was so excited about this, even about this little homemade video shoot, that he kept saying that he so liked it. So he will be the future producer, because he kept saying action, cut, even when he wasn't behind the camera, and it kept annoying Shana. And so she was like, stop saying cut, I can say it myself. So this was our project, and we are really thankful for everyone who participated, who believed in this project, who was there with us the entire time or part of that time. This project really involved so many people. I couldn't believe it when we did the editing, and this is another step. Actually, while we are filming this, the main video is still being edited, being produced. So you will see this video after the release, but so you know, it was filmed before the release. Would like to thank all the Indiegogo campaigns. That was another part that we tried this almost spontaneously. We thought that let's try this, let's run a crowdfunding campaign, and I am so used to do everything myself, to fund project, that it was really difficult to overcome that and actually accept that we need some help. And we filmed the video announcement for that Indiegogo campaign, and we got quite a response, totally unexpected response. I was in shock, really, when we started getting all the donations. I was like, wow. Thank you, guys.
Yes, it wouldn't be possible without your help, excitement, appreciation, full support. Thank you. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.